So before we get into tonight's episode, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, which tonight we have no sponsor.
Oh.
And the reason why is that the platform that we've been using for advertising over the last year plus, podgo.co, is now gone. They've been purchased by another company, and apparently, we aren't big enough to get a sponsor from this new company at this juncture. But hey, shout out to our original sponsor, Shine Through Window Cleaning. I mean, we're essentially done for the season, but hey, Shine Through Window Cleaning, just so you know, for the remainder of the winter, is going to be doing dryer vent cleaning and leaf guard installs. So if you are on the South Shore, if you're interested in either of those services, call 781-812-9189. That's 781-812-9189. Or you can find us on Instagram at Shine Through Window Cleaning, or on Facebook at Shine Through Window Cleaning, I believe is the tag for both.
Yep.
Hit us up, and you might see myself or Andrew's smiling face to come do an estimate for you. So hey, otherwise, we'll see you full-time back in March. But anyway, yo, what's up? What's going on, guys? Welcome into another episode of America's Hometown Horror. My name is Mike, and thanks for tuning into another episode of our show. And first and foremost, to my co-hosts, my esteemed co-hosts, Catherine and Andrew, who are both here with me. Guys, how are ya?
What's up?
Good. I gotta say, I feel a bit slighted that we don't have a sponsor anymore.
I know.
Like, what a bunch of losers. Do they know how good this podcast is? Do you listen?
Guys, happy Festivus.
Happy Festivus for the rest of us.
We are recording this, and this episode will actually be out the same day. So happy Festivus for the rest of us. We get the poll out of the crawl space, and we have a lot of problems with all you people, and I have a lot of problems with you people. And right now, you're gonna hear about it.
You couldn't smooth a silk sheet if you had a hot girl lying on it. I lost my train of thought.
We're gonna have our feats of strength later.
Feats of strength.
Me and Andrew.
Yep. Absolutely. But
Festivus doesn't end
but
until
yeah.
you pin me.
As rain blows upon you.
As rain blows upon him, I realized there must be another way. I was purchasing a doll for my son. God, such a great episode of television. I know we always talk about Seinfeld in this, so if you're not a Seinfeld fan, I'm sorry for you, because...
but watch the Festivus episode.
Yeah, the Festivus episode's really, really great, so I think you would probably like it if you like to laugh. I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for, but... Hey, guys, since the last time we recorded, and, I feel like we're not going to celebrate our birthday or anniversary every single year. Last year, it was our 1-year anniversary, and we did a big podcast kind of reflecting on the first year of the show. But since the last time we recorded, we have now hit 2 full years as a podcast.
Woohoo!
So
I feel like after
congratulations
you
to
do
us.
the first year birthday, then it's 5,
10.
That's when we'll start. That's when it really matters, like the longevity.
I think we'll hit 5, 10. I mean, we'll see.
I'll probably be dead.
We'll be in our
then,
40s. You might be dead by then. I hope. God, I hope not. I hope not.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so it's not only Festivus and Christmas is coming. It's Festivus right now. It is also. There's a birthday coming up. There's a birthday coming up in a few days.
One of our hosts.
Birthday boy.
And a one-a, and a two-a, and a three-a. Happy birthday to you.
To me.
Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to Andrew, Walter, Wilfred the shit.
So many different...
A happy birthday to you. How old are you now?
I'm crusty as shit.
You smell like a cow. You look like a monkey. And you smell like one too. Hey, all of those things may or may not be true. May or may not be true. Happy birthday, buddy!
Happy birthday!
Oh, thank you. I feel like a 21-year-old girl.
Oh my God!
I'm so excited.
You were rubbing your nipples too, so that makes it even that much better. Andrew, I have to ask you, as a guy that's lived into his 30s, what are your thoughts on having your birthday the day after Christmas?
Kind of makes me feel a little bit like Jesus, almost.
There you go.
To an extent.
There you go.
Like,
I've always thought of the son of Christ, the son of God, and you in the same.
Well, I mean, there's
Yes.
a reason. There's a reason I'm born so close to his birthday
Right.
because I shine my light
Shine
upon
upon-
all, and to all I shine my light. And if you don't have my light, then
You're in the dark.
then you're in the dark, and you better think about what you've done. I don't know. It's whatever. At this point, I could care less.
Well, we're doing a very fun thing
are
for
doing
Andrew's
a very
birthday.
fun
We're
thing.
going to go to Mohegan Sun in Connecticut and gamble
little-
on some football
some
and hang
football
out and
gambling.
get
It's
some
gonna be a
dinner,
blast.
and it'll be a great time. I'm really looking forward to
Best
it.
thing is, no girls invited.
Yeah,
So.
I know that.
Yeah, just me, Andrew, Seth, and Craig, the Shine Through crew. But Andrew, I guess guys, in general, since now we've been doing this for 2 full years, which is still insane to me, that not only we've been doing it for this long, and I feel like we've come a long way. I feel like we've become better as podcasters. But it's also just amazing to me that people still listen to us, and we still get feedback. People still seem to enjoy our ramblings, which is just wild.
I mean,
But,
I figured we'd be famous by now, but
yeah, kind of. I mean,
Get a little
thing-
more
good-
time
I
I
ago.
guess it depends on who you talk to.
good thing comes to those who wait.
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess for this particular year, and I know this is kind of off the cuff, was there anything this year that we've done that has stuck out to you guys for a favorite part of the year? Do you have a favorite episode, a favorite thing that we've done? I mean, I know for me personally, and I know, Andrew, you were vaguely there for this, I thought doing Fright Kingdom's Fright Before Christmas was fucking awesome. That was a great event to cover, and I also thought it was fantastic that we not only got to go to Barrett's again this year and review the event, but we also got to interview Mary from Barrett's on it. I thought that was awesome, and oh man, I feel like that just is a testament to the support we've gotten from some of the local haunt community, and I think that is just that makes me happy because that was kind of what I wanted to. I sought out to do when we started, and I think those were a couple of my big highlights this year. Were some of the haunted attractions that we did.
I think we've had a great year in general. I think it's been really fun.
Yeah,
I think
covered a wide variety of topics, right?
Yeah.
I think what I found the coolest about this year, because dealing with the pandemic and everything, is how we've come full circle. Like I remember a little bit over a year ago, we did the Barretts, we did the
Screens and screams.
Screens and
Yeah.
Screams at a drive-through, and how much different everything felt at that point in time to this year when we went to Barrett's. We
Yeah.
were able to walk through the exhibits. Not exhibits. It's not a museum. It's essentially a museum.
Kind of.
It's a horror museum. It's just amazing how much you can take for granted because we're so used to having everything we want just right there for the taking. And then when you lose that opportunity to have that, how much better it is when you actually regain it and you realize you shouldn't take anything for granted. We're all lucky to be on this little marble that we call
That's
the
a
Earth.
nice Christmas thought.
It is. It's
Yeah.
It's like a wonderful life. It's like
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
my Zuzu's
Nice.
petals or whatever that is.
Zuzu's petals. Oh my god.
A beautiful thought from the beautiful birthday.
Maybe the
boy.
mustaches made me wiser, but
Yeah,
Feel
I know.
softer at
What you,
Christmas.
you guys are unable to see on this podcast, but Andrew has stuck with the Movember mustache throughout December, and now
Mustache.
2 months of hard work.
it is quite distinguished. I have to say.
And then just wait till
So
the mullet.
I was
is
going
ready.
to say, so yeah, so you want to fill everyone in on your plan about what you want to do?
Well, I'm growing a mullet, so there's that. So I'm gonna have a big old mustache and a mullet, and I'm just not gonna give a shit what anybody thinks. Just see what happens. I just want to. It's more like a social experiment. See how people are. They just gonna assume that I'm some sort of piece of white trash,
Maybe.
which I am white and I am kind of trash.
Still a piece
If you-
of garbage.
If you do grow this mullet, would you rock the man bun?
I'm sorry.
Like a
for
man
the
bun?
top part, just saying the long part.
Who
would
does
long
that?
part.
Who
I'm
does
just
that?
saying, you can.
Absolutely
I was
not.
just
There are no man buns. That does not. That is
I would
not
love
allowed.
to see you with a man bun.
Ugh, I would love to kill myself if I had a man bun.
Kat, what about you? What's been your favorite part of this year? Or is there anything that you can think of that stuck out
I
to you?
feel like it's just been a good
We
year
covered a
in
wide
general.
range of movies,
I'm glad
wide
we
range
covered-
of haunted attractions.
I'm glad we covered Pan's Labyrinth on my birthday. That was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I too also enjoyed all the haunted attractions that we were able to go to this year, including the one that we did for Christmas, which was an unexpected surprise. Yeah, I think honestly, just the way we've been growing and kind of all of our guests and stuff. I think it's been a great year in general. Like, I don't know if I have one specific memory, but
okay.
I guess I liked my birthday when I covered Pan's Labyrinth.
That's a great point, and that you brought up. Thank you to every guest that we've had on this year, which I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but I know we've had Matt Audette on, we've had Matt Gilbert on when we covered extraterrestrial alien encounter. We've had Tony from Spooky World the Movie. We were lucky enough to have the whole crew of Spooky World the Movie on the show.
And Spook Eats.
Oh, that reminds me. I want to thank Anthony for the Christmas card that he sent me. That was very nice. I appreciate it.
Aww.
Yes. Very. Oh my God, we got one too.
Oh, I haven't looked at the mail in a while.
I know,
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
It's been a wild few weeks.
Yeah, I know. It's been very, very, very busy. But yeah, to any guest that's been on our show, if you're listening to this, if we didn't mention you by name, it's not a slight. We appreciate all of you, and it's just, we're so thankful for everything that you guys have done and everything that you've contributed to the show. So, with that being said, are you guys ready to talk about a Christmas horror story?
Yeah.
Not a specific Christmas horror story, a movie called A Christmas Horror Story from the year of our Lord 2015. Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
It's a great year.
Let's rock and roll. All right, cool.
Back before the world was stuck in a global pandemic.
I know. So it's funny because I suggested that we cover this. And Bloody Disgusting actually posted a very good retrospective article on their website today, which is a funny coincidence, that I would highly recommend that you go on their website and read and check out. It's got a lot of good insight, a lot of good recollections. And also, that's the website that first published my musings.
In case anyone forgot. Mike is a published
author, yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Thanks for making it.
And a stud.
Yes.
Well, thank you. And
Studley co-host,
thanks for making it sound douchier than it needed to be. Appreciate that.
Why else are we here?
So, guys, I have to ask you both what you thought of this movie. So, Andrew, since it is your birthday, close, I will ask you first. What do you think?
So you guys recommended this movie, and I had I'd seen it a few times scrolling across my Amazon Prime membership, and then I was like, yeah, it's good reviews. So I started watching it, and 3 minutes into the movie, I was like, I've seen this movie. I had just realized that I had actually watched this movie 3 or 4 years ago, and me being a space cadet, I vaguely remembered it, but this movie, probably the best anthology-style movie that Christmas horror has to offer, which you may say
is it the only one?
The only one that there might be to offer, but definitely falls into a top 10 just general anthology-type movie. I mean, the overarching theme of the movie is great. If you can get past the first 25, 30 minutes of this movie, because it's just very cheeseball-y to start, it feels like a Hulu movie, and I will never not trash Hulu for their trash movies. So
fair.
We'll probably never get an advertisement from Hulu, which
who wants that
anyways. Awesome movie though. I love everything about this.
I'd have to say, even if we were very complimentary of Hulu, I don't think they would ever sponsor.
Yeah,
us.
no.
So I don't
I don't care how complimentary are. They suck.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic movie. I love the tie-ins, the different aspects of the movie, how they have, you got a little Krampus. They get changelings in there. You don't really get changelings very often in movies, I feel like, which is nice. Without getting into spoilers, that's probably all I really have to say. The acting is subpar at best, but...
Seems like they spent their entire budget on William Shatner, and the rest of the actors were...
Yeah, the rest of the actors... I will say one thing about one of the actors, Molly, who is in the... she's one of the high school girls. Mm-hmm. She looks like Elijah Wood. It's really hard to not see that after you thought that. So the whole time I'm like, is this kid... Yeah, it's if you look at her again, she's almost like a mixture of Elijah Wood and who's that redhead girl from Superbad?
Emma Stone.
It's like
no,
a-
it's oh wait, no,
Yeah, Emma
it's
Stone's
so
the
it's
redhead.
a combination of Elijah Wood and Emma Stone mixed into one person.
Huh. I didn't
Just
think of that.
look at it.
I will.
Just look at it.
Interesting. Okay.
It's my takeaways.
Kat, your thoughts?
So I, when we were talking about watching this movie, I was kind of like, what's the name of this movie again? I forget that, which is the simplest thing. It's like, Christmas horror story.
Christmas horror
yeah,
story.
I
Yep.
get it. But I kind of went in blind, didn't really know what it was about. Kind of had a hard time getting into it because we were having date night and whatever, watching the movie, and I was just like, okay, well, let's rewatch this. I liked it overall. I liked a lot of the different... I realized I like anthologies. Because I think I didn't
This
know
is the
what
movie that made you realize that.
anthologies was. Because I feel like you say anthologies, and I'm not really... I'm like, oh, what is that again? I forget.
I don't know how I don't know how you don't know what that is.
I just
and how
forget.
it took this movie to make you realize that you like anthologies.
Oh, I do like anthologies.
Again, why I discount any one of your opinions on everything.
Meanwhile, we've also covered VHS 94 back in October. That's an
know.
anthology. We covered
Creepshow.
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
I know.
Black Mirror is an
Yeah.
anthology
Black Mirror.
TV
Is
Is that really
series.
an anthology?
It's a different
TV
story every
show.
episode. So yeah, it's an
Oh, you're going to be
anthology.
in for a amazing... January is going to be awesome
Okay,
for
so
you.
actually, that's a great segue. So, Andrew, before Kat finishes her thoughts, you want to talk a little bit about what we decided we want to do in January?
Well,
Or the
you
title of our...
You mean Janthology?
Janthology, baby.
Yeah, I should be in charge of marketing with that
Whoop,
shit.
whoop,
What a name. I
Janthology.
can't remember exactly what movies we're going to discuss. I know we're going to discuss...
Scouse.
We're going to discuss
Southbound and a few
Tales,
other movies, but basically... Yeah.
Southbound, Body Bags, XX.
Yep. Twilight Zone, the movie.
Twilight Zone, the movie, which is amazing. What else did
I think
we
that's it. I
decide
think it's just-
upon?
I think it's
we
just
had
four.
five. I think we had five. Because
I might have had 5. I don't remember all the exact movies, but yeah. So so just to be transparent, behind the scenes podcast shit. We've kind of done the same format since we started 2 years ago, and we've had some internal conversation that we might want to change up the format and make everything a little bit more conversational throughout the entire show. Because I talk a lot, that's fine. But I don't know. So I think in general, so we're going to do Janthologies, and we're going to cover a bunch of different anthology movies in January, hence the name. I think we might want to change up the format because I think the format that we currently have for the show does not work very well with anthologies because I just think we need something new. So, we have some themes in mind for the first several months of the show for 2022. So yeah, we're going to explore some new things, and we appreciate everyone that listens sticking with us, and hopefully you'll give us continue to listen while we change a few things.
And I do hope that the year 2022 isn't the sequel to 2020.
No kidding.
Or 2021.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, get it?
2020
Part 2.
Oh, God.
top of the
Cute.
muffin.
So cute.
All right, sorry. So continue with your thoughts on
Yeah,
Christmas
I
Horror
forgot
Story.
I was talking. I liked it overall. It was a little bit cheesy. I do appreciate the whole, I'm kind of drawn to those whole high school kind of
Really? Yeah,
corny
you love
things.
Scream
I
and
know.
all those
I
terrible
kind of
movies,
love
so.
them, so I liked that piece of it. That
Okay.
maybe others may not have liked, but yeah, I liked this movie.
Okay.
Good movie.
Fair enough.
I'd recommend it for people to watch over Christmas that are looking for something a little different.
Yeah, for sure. I think there are definitely worse ways that you can spend an hour and a half of your time. 100%.
It's a great movie.
I don't know if I
Great.
would see...
And for the season that lacks
season,
horror themes,
yes.
I think it's unique, different.
Yeah.
You didn't think it was great?
I did not think it was great. I did not think it was grape. I did not.
Great.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good, not great. I thought it was a perfectly fine, passable, Christmas-themed horror movie. And it, as I already mentioned, it seems like they spent their entire budget on William Shatner because the rest of the acting is suspect. But I feel like most horror movies that you watch, the acting is mostly okay. Not every movie is going to have an Oscar potentially nominated turn from Toni Collette like in Hereditary or whatever other movie. But I feel like all you need to know about this movie, if you look at the poster, you have an idea of what this movie's about. The poster has Krampus battling Santa Claus in a fist-to-fist fight. And when you go into this movie, with that expectation, you know what you're going to get.
It was slightly disappointing in that way. I'm going to say.
No, I got to say the end of this movie.
The fight was cool.
Rocking.
That was the best part.
Well, it wasn't as nearly as much of a fight as you wanted it to be, though. I want it to be more. I want more fighting.
I thought, despite the fact that they spent probably most of their budget on William Shatner, who actually
the CGI
really liked.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's not very good. It's not very good. But the practical effects aren't awful.
No, they're not bad at all.
No.
Decent for a low budget Canadian-made horror movie. I thought there were 2 good segments, and the others were not that great.
Yeah.
For me, personally. However, I did like how they all tied together, especially at the end. And the ending is great. And I don't think this will ever rank among the great Christmas horror movies, which I would consider to be Krampus. Shout out to our first ever episode. Gremlins, which is a Christmas movie and a horror movie, so fuck you if you don't think so. And also Black Christmas is also great. Arguably the first slasher even before Halloween. But yeah, as I said, there are worse ways to spend an hour and a half. If you are hanging out at your house, you're in the Christmas spirit, and you're looking to watch something else that isn't Rudolph or Frosty or one of the other Christmas specials or Christmas movies that you've seen 15 times.
Shut up.
It's not a horror movie. So last night, Kat and I, we decided we were gonna hang out at the house, make a nice dinner, decorate our tree, and watch this movie, which we did. And I was happy. I was happy that we watched the movie.
Yeah.
I would definitely consider watching it again, but I wouldn't consider it to be like an all-timer like Christmas movie.
I wouldn't watch it every Christmas. Like how you want to watch Gremlins every
Gremlins
Christmas.
and Krampus are
Krampus,
yearly rewatches for me.
Right.
This I wouldn't consider to be that. But I digress. So guys, this is now the 3rd movie from 2015 that we've covered. You don't have to go forever. Do you have any idea of the other movies that we've covered?
No.
First one
Why don't you just tell me?
Why don't you just tell me?
Just tell me the
No,
movie.
not Saw. Saw's older.
The first episode of our show, Krampus, is from 2015.
Okay,
yeah.
So this came out the same year as Krampus, and also The Witch.
The Witch.
So it's
So
our
it's
3rd
clearly
movie
third.
from 2015, but just to give you an idea of what else came out this year. Crimson Peak, which is also a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Never saw that.
And I haven't seen it either, which I need to. We're going to cover Nightmare Alley, the new Del Toro movie,
Am I the only one
next
that
week.
is willing to say that his movies are kind of overrated?
I could see that too. I mean, I like his movies, but
It's Guillermo
I
del
feel
Toro.
like the minute
Gotta
that
see that movie.
the minute that,
then
like-
you watch it and you go, that was fucking boring for like 2 hours.
I agree with that because
They're
I feel
kinda
like
boring.
they totally, whenever he comes out with a new movie, it's like, oh, new from Guillermo del Toro, and then they have this huge just because it's.
I mean, I like
his
to
name,
take naps
but
too.
He's like made his own brand out of his name. So
I,
it's just,
He's done a lot.
yeah.
He's a great
Pan's
director.
Labyrinth's a very good movie.
yes.
Boring.
No.
See,
Right.
did you see The Shape of Water?
No.
No, and I have no desires.
I want
So
to see
it is essentially a remake of The Creature from the Black Lagoon,
Okay.
but like
Except it's like
more
a love
socially
story.
relevant. It was okay. Like he's a very good director, and he loves classic horror, which I feel like that's why most horror fans are quick to embrace his movies. But I wouldn't consider any of his movies to be among my favorites.
No.
He's a
Well,
very
except
knowledgeable.
Pan's Labyrinth.
is,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
It's a horror
Just because
story,
you're
too.
very knowledgeable about something doesn't mean that you make something that great.
Correct. Also in 2015, The Gift, which is a very, very good movie starring Jason Bateman and Joel Edgerton that we
I
watched.
think that movie is awesome.
Fantastic movie.
I love Jason Bateman.
Yeah,
I
me
do too.
too.
I do too. Especially in more dramatic roles, like in what's the fucking Netflix show? Shit.
Ozark?
Ozark.
I
Great
was
show.
gonna be like,
Great
oh,
show.
Nope. Ozark.
Goosebumps, the movie with Jack Black. I actually really, really like that
Never
movie a
seen
lot.
that movie.
It's good. You should watch
It's
it.
good.
Insidious Chapter 3. I actually really like all the Insidious movies, and I thought Chapter 3 was pretty good. The Invitation. That's a movie that we need to cover.
Love that movie.
Fantastic
It's
movie.
up there with Coherence.
Coherent.
Very,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Small scale, very fucked up horror.
Very
Coherence is
almost like a Charles Manson style.
So Coherence is a little bit more sci-fi than The Invitation.
Yes.
The Invitation is a little bit more straightforward horror, but that movie's great. I would love to cover that next year.
Both of them are great.
Krampus, we already talked about. Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. The Poltergeist remake. Terrible. Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no. Sinister 2. Did you see Sinister 2? I know Sinister's one of your favorites.
Mediocre.
I think.
Okay.
It's
Watch that?
it's too much about Deputy so-and-so and...
Okay.
Doofy.
Okay.
It's not a bad movie, but it's nothing to remember.
So there's also a movie from 2015 called Stung. That is an underrated horror movie that is about gigantic wasps.
Yikes. That's
It
horrifying.
was on Netflix for a while, which is where I saw it. I don't think it's on there anymore, but it's worth checking out. It's very good.
I don't like bees.
Bees terrify.
Like,
Absolutely.
certain things terrify me. Bees,
Viscerally terrify me.
Yeah,
Which is why I wanted to watch the movie in the first place, because I knew I'd be scared, and it actually grossed me out and scared me the fuck
I'm
out.
scared of bees,
So-
but I kind of want like bees in our backyard because they make honey and like you can do lip balms and all that
That's
fun
stupid.
stuff. And no,
Are you gonna make
I would,
lip balm out of the bees' honey?
I could if I had bees, but
So you're going to compete with Burt's Bees and call it Cat's Bees?
yeah,
essentially?
cat's
Okay.
bees.
The Witch, we already talked about. Great movie. Obviously, go back and listen to our episode. We had Matt Gilbert on
Yes.
from The Truth Cabin.
Yeah.
Our friend, great guy. What's up, Matt? And then also a movie that flew under the radar. I know a lot of people hate M. Night Shyamalan. The Visit, which is his found footage
I
movie
love
with
that
the
movie.
kids.
Not a bad movie.
Good movie. I
Not a
liked
bad
it.
movie.
I was
That's
a
a
fan.
good movie. I like that movie.
I was a fan.
I like most M. Night Shyamalan movies. Whether that's like cool or not, like Glass. I thought Glass was good. I thought Split was good.
Yeah.
Was it you and I? Was it you that I was talking about Devil with
I
recently?
like that. I
thought
that movie.
was good.
I think
Yeah.
it's good. Like,
good.
I get it. It's cheesy and it's like, but whatever. I don't fucking care. I'm just watching something.
Right.
Like, not everything has to be some like cinematic masterpiece.
Right.
Like A Christmas Horror Story. They can't all be.
He makes genre movies, horror themed
knows-
movies
he
that
knows
have
his-
twists.
he knows
that's
what he's
you.
doing.
That's what.
And for someone to make that many movies with
Yeah.
that many twists, like I like Signs,
I love Signs,
Unbreakable,
actually.
Sixth Sense,
The Village.
The Village isn't
I
bad.
hated The Village and I
Really?
hated The Lady in the Water.
Lady in the
liked
Water
Lady in the
smells.
Water.
The Village is a
Lady
good
in the
movie,
Water
though.
was terrible, and The Happening is one
The
of
Happening
the worst
is
movies
well.
I've
I
ever seen.
blame that on Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
because he's an idiot and he shouldn't be allowed to be in any movies because he is a
So,
disgrace.
yeah, I agree.
No.
Actually, so if you're a fan of this podcast and you haven't heard before, despite the fact that we're based in Massachusetts, I fucking hate Mark
I would
Wahlberg.
love Mark Wahlberg to fall off a bridge and die because he thinks he is king shit and he is probably the worst human being alive. What a loser.
It's funny. It's convenient how Hollywood forgets certain things. That Mark Wahlberg beat up a guy back in his early teenage years, and also he said out loud in an interview that if he was on the plane that
Yeah.
crashed in the World
What an
Trade Center,
idiot.
that things would have gone differently.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mark Wahlberg.
I'm sure
you
you're all
superhero.
5'5" of you would have done nothing.
Yeah, fuck
What
you.
a loser.
Absolute piece of shit.
And Wahlberg's, by the
So
way,
anyway.
in the Derby Street Plaza or Hingham Shipyard, place sucks. The burgers are terrible.
Wahlburgers.
Agreed.
I like Wahlburgers.
Agreed.
You
I like the mushroom burgers.
So, guys, with this movie, not a lot of facts out there. Just simply aren't many. So here's what I found.
simply the best.
Either of you guys,
all the
I have
rest.
ever seen a movie called Ginger Snaps.
I have.
It's a werewolf movie.
Yes.
Very, very, very good one. Have you seen it?
No.
So the film takes place, this movie, A Christmas Horror Story, takes place in a fictional town called Bailey Downs, which is where the Ginger Snaps film
Oh, really?
takes
I didn't
place.
know that.
Yep.
Interesting.
As well as, Catherine, I think you have watched some of this, also where that TV show Orphan Black takes place.
I watched like 2 episodes of that. I didn't
Okay.
watch too much of it, so I don't know.
So this was intentional, as the filmmakers that were responsible for this movie also made the Ginger Snap film and also Orphan Black.
Cool.
So it all takes place in the same town. Kind of cool. Kind of cool.
I think I started watching it and I couldn't get into it.
I've never seen an episode, so I couldn't tell you one
Yeah.
way or another. And I just one little fun fact: if you decide to watch this movie all the way through to the end, normally at the end of movies in the credits it'll say no animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
Thank God.
In this particular film, it says no elves were harmed in the making of this film.
I thought I was going to say animals were harmed.
I know, that's what I thought you were going to.
That would be
like,
awesome.
Oh
I mean,
my God.
there were some reindeer. I don't think there were any other animals.
Elves, midgets were harmed.
Probably fake reindeer, if I had to guess. But
I don't know if they're... Yeah.
All right, so that means that we are on to our categories, my friends. I know you guys have quite a few notes on this.
Yes.
So I guess whoever wants to start, did you find this movie to be at all scary? Andrew?
Absolutely not.
Sam,
Why is this scary? Why would this be scary? It's fun. It's a fun movie.
Let me
meant
guess.
to be fun.
Wait.
Pat has a dissenting opinion.
The only scary part is the mall Santa.
At a different part. Okay.
Okay.
I had one jump scare. You go ahead.
No. Well, this isn't a jump scare, but the actual reality of being scared is that something goes crazy
that could
in
happen.
a mall.
Yeah, you get trapped in there, and this motherfucker.
Yes.
But first
That's
off,
terrifying.
all he has is an axe. You can't escape. There's like 75 exits
know.
at every mall. How are you keeping hostages? Irrelevant. Doesn't even happen.
But it's not even you see the girl that he's seeing this one thing as an elf, but then this girl is just at a kiosk with scissors and he's envisioning.
She could have just
She could
ran
have
away.
Yes, she could have. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
No
But
one
I
needs to
mean-
encounter the Santa Claus
Right.
with the axe.
The reality of that happening is terrifying.
Because that's scary to you because you would be the idiot that tries to stab Santa with the pair of scissors instead of running away.
No, I would run.
The only thing I would say is that if it were to be more topical for the year 2021, the mall Santa that loses his mind would not have an
He'd
axe.
have a shotgun.
He'd have a gun.
Yes,
He'd have a gun.
he'd have a gun.
Which that's a little bit harder to run away from.
Right.
I actually kind of thought it was funny because, Kat, I know you and I, as huge super fans of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I thought this was kind of like the opposite of the episode of Sunny. It's called a Very Sunny Christmas, and there's a scene, if you watch the show, where Charlie realizes that his mother was a prostitute, that she had sex on Christmas Day with multiple Santa Clauses, and they all brought Charlie presents when he was a child.
Dozens.
And he has a flashback in a mall where he goes as an adult and he sits on Santa's lap and proceeds to scream at Santa, "Did you fuck my mom? Did you fuck my fucking mom?" And then he bites Santa's neck. And he has blood all over him, and so this is like the opposite of that, with the Santa Claus losing his shit and not the actual person sitting on Santa's lap.
Right.
So I was thinking of that when we were watching it. But I will say, for me, I didn't think this movie was scary at all. I did have one jump scare, and it was the part where so none of these sequences had titles. They were just story 1, story 2, story
Was it
3,
the high
story
school
4.
one? It was the high school
The one with the high school kids when
Yeah.
they're watching the footage of the police officers.
And she falls out of the
Yes,
ceiling.
that was the one
Gotcha.
jump scare that actually got me, and I remember it got you too when we were watching it. So
Well, I mean, yeah, something.
that was the only scary thing for me. Andrew, what was your favorite scene in this movie, if you had one?
Favorite scene or favorite part of the trilogy?
Segment?
I would go with
Yeah.
my segment. I loved the Changeling segment.
See,
I thought that was great.
All right, go ahead.
I thought it was just really well done. Like, the stupid kid gets lost in the woods. They shouldn't be trespassing there. It's involved with the dad who had seen the murders at the other place. I just thought the build-up for that one was it was a lot more... It felt like more of a horror movie to me than the other ones. Except that had one of the most disgusting, vile scenes. So I don't know how you guys felt about this scene, but when
I know what you're going to say.
the weird changeling ended up in his mom's bed and was doing something
yeah,
that
that
involved,
was pretty
touching
messed
his
up.
fellatio or licking his
Trying to
mother's...
feel up his mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so weird. And she's moaning, and I'm like, that's your kid in the
Yeah,
bed.
that's
But it wasn't
really-
her kid. It was this weird
the
changeling.
changeling, of
But that made me feel very uncomfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was like, oh, yeah, we're going there. I just thought that one was different. It was like I feel like the Krampus one was just basic, all those stupid white people that should be killed because they suck so bad. Like Dylan's a fucking
The kid in that
kid,
one
I
sucked.
wanted that kid to die so fast, and he didn't die fast enough. And I wanted the mom to die, and the dad I didn't realize was a giant piece of shit till he died. As far as the other ones go, I mean, are we gonna do favorite death?
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, we'll get there,
Yeah.
we'll get there.
All right, so I went to the favorite death.
So that's your favorite scene? is the one where she gets eaten out by her kid.
No, my favorite scene. My favorite scene is actually when Storm and Norman is in the bathroom screaming in the mirror, and he's finally realizing what's going on. He's trying to like come back.
Yeah.
To
Well,
Earth.
that was
after
he's
like,
"What are you doing?" Yeah, and he's like, "Fuck."
So my favorite scene was also from my favorite segment. I thought the strongest segment in the entire movie was the Santa Claus segment, where essentially there's the zombie elves, and he eventually fights Krampus. Then you come to find out that it's not actually happening, but it's just a mall Santa Claus that has lost his mind and has a psychotic break. But I mean, I just thought my favorite scene was the fight between Santa and Krampus, where they're essentially battling, and Santa has the staff, and Krampus is throwing the chains at him, and that was pretty cool. I thought that was really good. And also, I know we're going to get to this in quotes, some of the dialogue between the zombie elves and Santa Claus.
Yes.
Absolutely
Phenomenal.
fucking hilarious. And language warning for that particular part. And again, just because we're going to directly quote these movies doesn't mean that we endorse the language. This is a precursor. Kat, what about you?
So I actually liked the scene in the Krampus one with the old lady who then the younger girl comes back
On
and is
Esta
like,
or whatever stupid name
forget
is.
her
Something
name.
like that, yeah.
But the girl comes back and is like, so, because he broke this Krampus thing,
yes.
like, we can put it back together and, like, Krampus will be all done or whatever. And then she puts together the whole thing where, like, oh, wait, no, you knew what was going to happen. And, like,
You
all this
sent
stuff.
us out.
And she's like, oh, it's a spirit, and spirit can go into anyone, and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, her, like, whole face changes, and she turns into Krampus, and eventually, and I'm like, yes, because that old lady
Vindictive.
sucked.
Fuck that bitch.
She
sucked.
sucked. And I was just like, nice. Like, that was a good way to end
She deserved
that
it.
So
She
he-
deserves to
segment.
die.
Here's
Yeah.
a question for you guys. Which Krampus design did you like better? The one from Krampus, the first episode that we did, or this movie?
So I'll go first because I actually was kind of taking some notes on this. I liked this one in a different way. It's different than the other Krampus. It's more wintry. It's more of like a Bumble. It's more of like a snowy Krampus.
What's a Bumble?
You
Like
mean
the Bumble from like
from Rudolph. It's like an abominable snowman
Yes.
type Krampus.
Yes, it's a white Krampus with it still has the horns, but it still has the teeth, but it's not nearly as scary as the other Krampus, I don't think. It doesn't have the traditional robes and all the Christmas thing.
I think he actually probably looks more traditionally like what Krampus is.
Yes.
But I prefer the design from the
from
original,
the
Krampus movie.
Yes,
personally.
I agree. I agree with that.
Andrew, what about you?
I don't really care about either of those.
You don't
Okay.
care about
I mean, it
Krampus?
is what it is. They
Wow.
all look cool, whatever.
Krampus.
Like, I mean, that doesn't. I never even thought of that.
Here comes Krampus.
The design
Here
of
comes
Krampus? You didn't think of that?
Yeah, they look the same. They look like stupid
doesn't.
idiots with horns on their
No,
head.
the one from Krampus looks like he has like
yeah,
a mouth that's down.
He's got more like
here
a.
and,
He's more like a.
Well, they both
he's
have
more
the
like
long tongue.
He's more like a Lovecraft. The Krampus from the other one's more Lovecraftian, I feel like.
Which I feel like you would like more. I'm
I
surprised.
do like. Yeah, I mean, they're both cool. I just never really.
Okay.
I don't.
The
I
other,
don't know.
well, the traditional, not traditional Krampus. Well, actually, I'd say this one's more of the traditional Krampus because it's just a very hooves
It
and
does
whatever,
look more traditional. Like,
Versus-
like if you
versus the one from the Krampus movie.
You know what
that
I
has
was
all
gonna
the
say? We
shit on
should have
top
watched
of them.
before this was the Krampus episode of American Dad. Have you ever seen that one?
I have not seen
No.
that. Actually. We should watch
we
that.
should
Maybe we
watch
should
that
watch that
after.
after.
American Dad's so good. I love that show.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. So that means we're on to favorite quote. And Andrew, I know that you have been dying to tackle this. Why don't you go first?
So it's when Santa realized that all the elves have turned into these flesh-eating zombie elves, and I think his name is Shiny,
Shiny, the elf.
and he
Shiny.
is ready to skewer Santa. He says, "I'm gonna eat your brains out, you Christmas cunt." It's probably the funniest
So
line
awesome.
from the movie.
Dude,
I was like,
I-
oh my god! I started laughing
I
immediately.
lost it. I lost it when so he actually has another. He has another good quote in here that I had written.
Oh, he's got
down,
a
which was,
bunch.
I said I don't want a goddamn cookie, you reindeer fucking snow whore. I thought that was a good one. That was a really good one. And then obviously the daughter from the Krampus scene says "Merry Christmas, motherfucker" when she lights
Yeah.
Krampus on fire. That was a good one. Did you have anything for this?
I did actually. So William Shatner has some pretty great quotes.
He's
in
actually
the-
pretty funny in this movie. I will
He
say.
also doesn't look
Wait.
old at all in this movie, and he's like 1,000.
I
years
know.
old.
Yeah.
In the credits, at the end, there's one of those little bloop things.
Yep.
And he has some pretty funny things where he addresses some, like, PC issues where they have people that call into the radio station and are like, well, you know, they might have dealt with this better if there was more police training. And William Shatner goes, there's magical dark forces out there. Like, how do you expect them to be more police trained for magical dark forces? And then
funny.
he goes, like... He says, we can't go as a society, we can't go 5 minutes without looking at our... Oh, wait, hold on, I just got a text message. Like, he, like, says all these stupid little things.
Or he's like, put another eggnog on the fire. I mean,
Yeah.
put
Put
another
a log
log
on
on
the
the
fire
fire.
and pour yourself
another
eggnog.
They're like, he just says the best things, and it's just so funny that he addresses all these little...
He should be like
Yes.
a radio host.
Yes,
I would listen to the William
absolutely.
Shatner Hour.
I'm like, so anything pretty much that he says, he, like, it's gold. And he's just that little comedic relief that, like, kind of
He
goes
is
throughout
perfect
the entire...
for this
yes.
type. Like, it reminds me of, like, Southbound, where you have, like, the radio guy talking as they go on. Like, it's perfect for this type of movie.
I thought it was a very good through line for the entire movie, a good way to tie everything together, especially when you find out at the end that, like, the things that he's referencing on the radio
Are going
are
on,
directly
yeah.
tied
Right.
to this particular town and all of the stories that you're seeing. So
Correct.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, so those are my favorite quotes, are from him.
Is this the type of movie, you guys, where we would have a least favorite and favorite character?
Yes.
I have two.
All right, go ahead, Andrew.
Least favorite character is Duncan, that little piece of shit from
Oh,
the Krampus
just the
scene.
worst.
The one that breaks
Just
the
the
Krampus
worst.
thing.
On
and then He was
purpose?
the one that killed all the animals. Like, I wanted him to die immediately, and I was so glad. Him and his mother. His mom was a fucking...
Okay.
Storm and Norman, probably the MVP of the movie. Like, we all have felt that way about Christmas at some point, where you just want to, I don't know, massacre everybody at the mall.
Kind of like I felt today running around to Colony Place and several other places.
Oh, we
that
went
were
to
all
Derby
slammed.
Street in Hingham.
Why would
There
you
has
do that?
never been a place that I wanted to murder more people.
Oh, you were with Seth today?
Yeah, I went with Seth.
Oh, God.
Well, he had to get a gift card at Burton's.
For who?
Christine's parents.
Oh, gotcha.
Because
Okay.
there's one up in that area.
Hey, well, listeners, you don't need to know that. That's okay.
That's
Hey,
right.
we're just
Hey,
talking
we're
meta.
Burton's,
What were you going to say, Kat?
So my favorite character, I think, is William Shatner, but I also liked the girl that turns into Krampus. I thought she was a good character, like, who kind of evolved, like, into this. She was kind of like this kind of, I don't know, the typical high schooler that kind of is like, well, I just steal stuff every now and then from whatever, and, like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, and then she turns into this kind of...
Well, she chooses to. She
does.
invokes
Yes.
Krampus
Yeah.
to kill Etta
Yeah.
or whatever.
I liked her. The girl, the redhead girl that you said reminds you of, I hate her. I hated
okay,
her.
yeah, that whole, I don't like
She
any
sucked.
of that part of the movie.
I hated her a lot. So, she's my worst character. Yeah, by
Yeah,
far.
Duncan the kid was my least favorite character, and either Santa Claus or William Shatner was my favorite character. So I have nothing new to contribute there. Time for nitpicks. Anyone have anything?
Oh, I do.
I got one, and I sent it to you guys earlier. There's a video, I think timestamp in the movie. It's somewhere between an hour and 18 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes in the movie, and it's part of that scene.
Coming from a man, by the way, who watches every movie on subtitles, which I'm not faulting you for that.
This is why I watch movies on subtitles. So I may be mistaken. I'm pretty so it's the scene with the kids at the high school. They're hiding and they're trying to find the weird death that had gone on. And the kid's name is definitely Dylan that they're looking for. And he's walking through the halls with this, his whatever camera on, and he says Dylan, because that's the kid's name.
Dylan.
But I think he actually says Philden or Philip
Yeah.
or something wrong, and they never edited it out. But if you look back at it, clearly says in subtitles that he's saying Dylan. But when you hear him speak, if you just listen and you don't look, it sounds like he's saying Philip. And I just don't know why they didn't retake that scene. Maybe they ran out of budget money or whatever. But
That's
it's just
so funny that you picked up on that too.
Dylan.
I mean, yeah,
You son of a bitch.
that's why I watch movies with subtitles.
yeah.
Not that reason in general. I'm just deaf and I like to be able to hear what's going on.
So I didn't have any. Kat, did you have any nitpicks?
Kind of, yeah, like so the Krampus thing was kind of weird how the way that they worded it, just because like, she said that Krampus is a spirit that takes on the body of someone else, and I was like, well, is that really the way that that's supposed to go?
That is
And then-
true. I
It's
mean,
an
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, it's
mean,
there. Yeah,
'cause then
I
she-
thought that was a little strange too. That people were shape shifting into Krampus.
Yeah, because then I was like, well, and that got a little bit. I mean, I know that in the end, the Santa had mental health problems or whatever, and he was imagining this guy as Krampus, so that's fine. But in the same sense, I'm like, Krampus doesn't really evolve like into a human host from what I've ever heard in folklore, so that was a little bit weird. That like it was one of my favorite scenes that she did like evolve into Krampus, but in the same sense, I was like,
I kind of liked it.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, but
though.
there's room for creative, artistic
interpretation, right?
Interpretation. Sure.
interpretation.
But it just, I didn't really like that. Like, because it just seemed like, okay, well, the way that it looked in the movie, if you didn't know the folklore with Krampus, then you'd be like, oh, well, Krampus is in the mall in this guy, and Krampus is in this girl, and
Right.
over here. And then you're kind of thinking, you're like, well, how many other Krampuses can be out there?
Well, Krampus was never in the mall.
No, he wasn't in the mall because, but
that
he
was
imagined,
a delusional
yes,
person.
right,
So there's
correct.
only one Krampus throughout the movie.
But-
that's what you're missing.
No, but if she can evolve into Krampus, who else can? If Krampus is a spirit, as they're saying in this movie, and you don't
have to have
Christmas,
you have to have this knowledge of him though.
but she didn't.
She didn't get. She did. She gained the knowledge from Etta.
But how many other people in the world would have that?
Probably nobody.
No, that's not true.
That knowledge, that certain knowledge,
It's
that
a
only
German
this old.
folklore.
Yeah, so only some old dirty grandmother's gonna know what she's talking
The
about.
one person in the world. I mean, I don't.
You're
buy that.
thinking
I think
way
it's,
too much
I know.
about
I
this.
understand.
All right,
But it's
fair enough.
a nitpick for me. It's
Okay.
a nitpick.
There you go.
Fair enough.
Fair. I like your nitpicks.
A peek into Catherine's mind, one of the co-host minds of America's Hometown Horror.
Yeah. And I don't think Krampus can be everywhere in one night like Santa. It's not really. It's not
Why can't he?
because that's not.
Oh, because Santa's real.
Yes. Never mind.
You're an
Let's
idiot.
move
Let's
on.
just keep moving on.
I'm
yes.
just kidding. I didn't mean you're not an idiot.
Time for favorite kills, my friend.
Oh,
I will start with mine, and I actually loved when Santa Claus scalped one of his elves
At the very
with,
beginning, yeah.
with his bow staff that had a sharp, pointy edge. I thought that was great. There were a lot of pretty cool kills, and I thought a lot of the special effects were not bad, considering this was a... the practical stuff was good. The special effects, CGI, not that great. Andrew, go ahead. I know you said you
I
had
think a
one.
lot of the favorite kills come back to Santa. Mine was when he lifted up the elf, threw him down on the like old school paper slicer from like school, and he just
That was
chopped
sick.
his
That
head
was
up.
sick.
was sick.
Honestly, I felt like, for me, anything revolving around Santa killing people in a graphic
Awesome.
way, it's pretty awesome. And that guy actually looked as much of a schlub as he looked like in like the actual scenes where it showed what he really looks like.
Oh yeah,
He looked like a pretty intimidating like Santa
yeah.
Claus.
and also Mrs. Claus was pretty hot.
Not an old Santa. Like I feel like it was. She was
Yeah.
disproportionately young compared to
Yeah.
what Santa Claus looked like.
Would
Santa was
I?
hitting above his.
Yes.
He was hitting above his pay grade for sure.
Well above.
What about you?
I liked the end scene where they killed Santa because it reminded me of Bad Santa. When they're
They
in the
just shoot
mall
him?
and they shoot the Santa, and I like because I just think of Bad Santa when it's like, no, you killed Santa, but like in the same sense.
That's another yearly rewatch
Well, I
that
mean,
we
in
haven't
reality,
watched
though,
this year.
how many people did Storm and Norman kill in that?
Oh,
mall?
absolutely. I
Like
know.
40 people. Like he
Yeah.
was just slaying these people like they were elves.
Yeah.
Like talk about a massacre.
Lots
He
of
no.
teenagers and children. So
Which it makes it even better.
He deserved to die over Bad Santa, but I liked that death because it reminded me of Bad Santa.
sure,
I love that.
understood.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
Fraggle stick car.
The
Fraggle stick car.
What the fuck
What
is
the
that?
fuck do you want for Christmas?
Yeah, I
Fraggle
heard you the
stick
first
car.
Why don't you
Get
mind
the
your
fuck
own
outta here.
fucking business? Just shoot salad.
I'm on my fucking lunch
my
break.
fucking lunch
I
break.
say
On
that.
my
all-
fucking lunch.
I used to say that all the time at the job. I'm my fucking lunch.
So, guys, I feel like we kind of essentially went to one of these already, but do you think this movie would translate well to a haunted attraction? And Andrew, I know you were kind of there. What do you
I'm
guys
always
think?
there, in spirit.
I think it would. I think there's a lot of different scenarios where you can make different rooms in a haunted house that I think it would translate to a good haunted attraction.
See, the only thing that I thought about this movie was that most of these sequences in this anthology were not overly Christmas themed.
No.
I mean, so the one that sticks out to me was the teenagers in the school. That one had nothing to do with anything. That was the worst one to me by far.
That one sucked.
At least the other three were Krampus themed. The
that
other
one
family was going to chop down a
Succubus,
Christmas tree,
demon,
and the other one was Santa
what is the theme in that one?
Nah, it was stupid. It was stupid. So I think, yeah, sure, any anthology movie you could make a good good haunted attraction out of, because I don't know. I think it could work. We've walked obviously through Christmas themed haunted attractions twice.
Correct.
In New Hampshire and in Florida.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it could work. You guys think anything else?
I would be down with that. I'm always down with anything.
Are we doing cast replacements, or is
No, we're not doing any of that. We're done.
You can. Go ahead. I didn't have anything for that, so I skipped it.
The dad in the family that...
Who would have been better? Go ahead.
Will Ferrell.
I can't wait to hear.
Will Ferrell would have been way better, and I thought he would have been hilarious in the same sense.
First off, he would never have signed off on any of this.
No, he
Why
wouldn't.
would he be... They couldn't pay him for this. So
You know who I would have thought would have been better is Al Pacino or Daniel Day-Lewis or Leonardo DiCaprio, for sure.
Daniel Day-Lewis as Santa Claus might have been epic. It would have been like the last of the elves. It would have been awesome.
Right. That'd be fun.
Yeah, you can't do cast replacements for stupid
Why
movies.
can't you? It's just fun.
That's
it's
why we
like
got
when
rid
you
of that.
think
so
it
got
would
rid of
be
that category.
better.
All right, so
Rid of this
so
category.
podcast inner talk for you listeners. That's a category that unless we have cast facts,
We got rid of that.
We should get rid of that.
I like cast
Because it
replacements.
brings up these irrelevant things that you say that
But it
don't
makes
matter.
you think of like a different direction.
Yeah,
that-
if I had like a $15 million budget just for one actor.
Well, yeah, but it'd be
You
kinda
can't
fun.
do that in a movie like this.
You can.
All right.
I mean, you did.
I did.
It's done.
fine.
Let's spill your drink on
Whatever.
All right.
Don't spill my drink.
So guys, final question: would you watch a sequel to this movie?
Yes.
I would.
And I think it would be an easy way to segment into a sequel because it's an anthology.
Well,
so,
you gotta say,
Do a whole
here's-
new story of
Exactly.
movies.
Here's the thing about anthologies is that they're only as good as the last segment. So if there's a bad segment, if the next segment is good, people forget about it. So I think that you could make a sequel to this movie. I mean, I feel like Christmas horror is severely under-tapped in movies.
There's plenty to tap into.
People could do a sequel to this movie, and it could be more than Krampus and Santa Claus.
Dude, you could do like gingerbread men eating real men.
That's why I think Krampus is so perfectly
I mean, you
done.
could do anything.
It's killer toys, it's killer elves, it's Krampus, it's fucking... Yeah,
I'm
it's
just glad this movie made Kat realize that anthology movies are good, because she clearly had no idea what an anthology movie was.
Well, I'm glad she
We brought
knows.
this
I'm
up.
glad
Now
She
I
was
know.
like, I don't like
Now
ants.
ahead of Janthology.
She thought it was like just a bunch of ants involved in some ology.
Right.
And she was like, I don't like biology or
I'm not
ants.
sure about anteaters
What are we talking
either.
about?
I mean, anteaters are kind of weird.
I didn't know that you didn't know what these were.
I just... I don't know.
You
It's
just-
fine. Well, now I'm ready, and I'm excited.
Guys, any final thoughts on this movie before we put a bow in this bitch?
I'd say watch it if you haven't already, which by now I would have guessed that you would have watched it if you're still listening to this. But I liked it. I think William Shatner was probably the best part of this, to be fair.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Anthony,
Yeah.
any thoughts?
All my thoughts have been given. I'm good.
Mine have been given. And
I don't
Kat
want to say something as
just-
stupid as she just said.
Why? What do you mean?
All right, guys.
You guys. I hate you guys.
Well, hey, I'll tell
Merry
you what.
Christmas, everyone.
If you've listened
Keep
to
the
this,
change, you filthy animal.
if you've listened to this and you're itching for more of what we have to say, here's where you can find us.
Andrew,
First
you're such a disease.
Then you might have crabs if you're itching.
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing
growing
on
on
my
my
ass.
So, I think, to be fair, as we are quoting Home Alone
Not a horror movie.
on the Home
Stop it.
Alone
Stop.
of the horror podcast.
Stop.
Over, done, not talking about it.
Not our
You
movie.
lost, outnumbered, 2-3.
If you're interested in more of what we have to say,
And
the
or
first-
if you're interested in seeing Home Alone on our podcast.
Yeah, tell you what, Jesus Christ! If you're one of those morons that wants to hear Home
Not a
Alone cover this
moron.
podcast,
Everyone
then
loves Home Alone.
give us some feedback on Instagram or Twitter.
Everyone loves that
wherever.
movie because it's a comedy family movie. It's not a fucking horror movie. What do you...
Anywho, if you're interested in more about what we have to say, online, anywhere. If you're listening to this podcast and saying, wow, these guys are great, you can go to our website, which is
pretty sure nobody's saying that.
ahhpod.com. That's AHHPOD.com. You can also find us on YouTube and Facebook. Just search for America's Hometown Horror, and you will find us. You can also find us on Twitter at Hometown Horror, and we're on Instagram, which is where we're probably the most active, at Hometown Horror Pod. And you can also email us at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find our show, hey, wherever you're listening right the fuck now, but pretty much anywhere. Apple, Google, Amazon, blah, 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 blah. Guys, sincerely, from America's Hometown Horror to you, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Happy Hanukkah.
And a haunted New Year.
Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Festivus. Whatever holiday you celebrate, we wish you a happy one. And we'll be back next week where we'll be talking about Nightmare Alley.
I can't wait to watch this.
I'm very excited to watch this. So yeah, Nightmare Alley next week. And guys, say goodbye to your listeners.
Adios, muchachos.
Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
Christmas.
Good evening.
Ouch. Hit me with that.
You say something.
Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and just wanted to say thank you again for listening to another episode of our show, because of course, we would be nothing without you listeners. If you are interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I would highly recommend you check out some shows by our cohorts on the Inebriart Podcast Network. That's right, the Inebriart Podcast Network, folks. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find the Inebriart Podcast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, Retro Redoctopus, and Old Colony Cast. Head on over and give them a listen.